Ready.
Yes, thank you. So when we talk about bearing, basically, I'm sure some of these terminologies are not new to us. You've seen them in movies. It has to do with angles and direction, basically. For example, if I'm to move, I think mostly by the sailors, if you watch some of these pirates movies, you see them holding their compass, right? And telling you, oh, we need to navigate through a bearing of something. Now, for the IGCSE, do you want to move a little bit so she can see? Okay. For the IGCSE and of course IB, you focus mainly on the three-figure bearing. We have three-figure bearing and compass bearing. Compass bearing is when you say north 50 degrees east, something like that. Am I making sense? So for example, of course you know the 4 cardinal points, yes?
Yes.
I'm sure you never heard of east 30 degrees south. Have you heard of anything like that before? Have you heard of anything like that before? Yes? Really? East 30 degrees south? What would the compass bearing sound like?
40 degrees from east.
No, I'm talking about this combination. I don't want to hear the word from or anything. What will it sound like? That's my question. Have you ever had anything like east 30 degrees south before?
No.
Give me an example of the kind of thing you've heard of before for compass bearing.
30 degrees east.
Say that again?
30 degrees east.
You can't just have 30 degrees east. What do you have before that? Oh, maybe I thought you knew compass bearing. The compass bearing always begins from either the north or the south. It doesn't begin from east or west. The compass bearing is calculated to begin from either the north or the south. So it consists of 3 parts. The north or south, then the acute angle, which is always less than 90, and then the east or west. So you can't hear east 30 degrees south, rather you hear south 30 degrees east. Okay? That's how compass bearing is measured. I don't know the kind of movies you watch. The kind of movie that I watch, they don't speak like that. Anyways, so compass bearing is not what you are discussing here. For your question, as you can see, all the past questions that are printed, everything is three-figure bearing. I just wanted to raise the awareness of this. So if I say north 25 degrees east, it means start from the north, move 25 degrees out of all the 90 degrees towards the east. So then, on this line is the position you're trying to locate. Similarly, we can say south 45 degrees west. It means from the south, move 45 degrees towards the west. So that's just halfway in the 90 degree, right? So on this line is the position. Then the distance determines the location. If the distance is 4 kilometers, then you know there will be so many, for example, villages on this path, right? But oh, the village you're looking for is 40 kilometers on a bearing of north 25 degrees east. So when you move north 25 degrees east, when you locate that path, you know you have to move just 40 kilometers. And wherever you are is the location. Because if you move further, you meet another location. You get another location. So bearing and distance work together. Otherwise, we cannot pinpoint locations. So this is called compass bearing. Okay? But we are focusing on three-figure bearing, not compass bearing. I think in your material, they call it true figure bearing. I don't know why they call it that, but when I was learning, we call it three-figure bearing. But of course, they mention in your textbook that true figure bearing is usually consisting of 3 digits. Which means if the bearing is 25, you don't say 25, you say 025. Now the difference between compass bearing and three-figure bearing is this. Compass bearing begins from either the north or the south, but three-figure bearing begins from the north and move from 0 to 360. Understand? It begins from the north. So bearing 025, that's just 25 degrees. But you don't say bearing 25 degrees, you say bearing 025. Bearing 120, yes. You cannot have north 120 east here in the compass. Understand that? So we know, okay. Let's be right. 3-figure or true bearing, as your book has called that. Begins with from the north, begin north and moving in a clockwise direction. So for example, watch this. Bearing 070 degree, we're going to draw each of this. Bearing 131 degree, bearing 289 degree, bearing 215 degree. For this one, bearing 072. Clockwise direction, clockwise. You start from the north always. Clockwise, close to 90. Understand? Maybe I draw the 4 cardinal points in each first. Once you know how to draw your bearing, everything else you have done. So katwa, sine rule, cosine rule. The only difference will be how to draw this picture based on your understanding of bearing. That's all. Understand? Now, so maybe what I will also do is we can take one bearing question as an example, and I can put that on this board. Okay. Now listen, 131 degree. See, this is over 90, within 90, that's why I stopped here, right? There's over 90, you're going to be here. Over 180 will be here, over 270 will be here. Okay? Anika, if I start here from the north, where do I stop? The first or the second or the third or the fourth? When I say first, second, third, fourth, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, clockwise direction. Understand? Ryan, you are doing what I do not like. You are supposed to be listening and contribute, and not watch yourself or whatever you're doing. Yes, Anika? In the second. So again, the second is 180, right? So it's just going to be a little bit above 90, isn't it? So what I'm talking about here is the location is on that part. Then the distance determines where exactly the location is. Similarly, the location is on this part. Understand? Joey, where would this be? I just want to hear 1, 2, 3, 4. First, second, third, fourth. That's all I want to hear.
That would be the third.
Third? Are you sure?
Fourth.
Fourth, because this is what angle gets here. 270. Speak please. Speak loud and fast. 270. And 289 is more than 270. King, where would this be? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Say that again. 3. What gets here, King? Say that again. 180 and here? So definitely this is in between. So that's how to draw your bearing. Okay, these are 3-figure bearing, and that is what you need to focus on. Okay, now there is one skill that we also need to have. If I know the bearing of, okay, if I know the bearing of Mr. Daniel from Anika, can I find the bearing of Anika from Mr. Daniel? Let me ask you first. Would it be the same? You know, in angle of elevation and depression, if I'm staring at you with an angle of depression of 30, you have to be staring at me with an angle of elevation of 30 as well, isn't it? Do you think bearing will be the same? You sure? Anika, what do you think? If your bearing from me, your location from me is 30 degrees, will my location from you also be 30 degrees? Do you think so? Are you sure about that? Ryan, what do you think? Do you understand my question? Okay. Do you think it should be the same bearing? I want to hear yes, no, or not sure. What did you say?
He said no.
Said no.
No. Okay, great. So yes, it shouldn't be the same. Remember, our bearing is from the north. So I'm going to take one example. Or maybe two. I think one should be enough. Then I write three for you to attempt yourself. Okay? And I want it done immediately. Maybe at the back of your note, on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be like writing a full note. So I'll call it bearing between 2 points. So I will say find the bearing of an acre, we call our location A. From Mr. Daniel, let's say my location is B. Given, so all I'm going to give you is the other way around. Given that the bearing of Mr. Daniel, maybe we'll just use the D now. Given that the bearing of D from A is, question 1, let's say 215 degrees. Please stop. For those that are listening, we want to find, so you need to know what you are given and what is expected of you. What is given is this, which is given that the bearing of D from A, that's the given. The other way around is expected. It says given D from A, D from A. So A is the first one you draw. You have been given the bearing of D from A. That's what you know. So 215 is the bearing of D from point A. You don't know anything about D, but you are able to locate from point A. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So you draw your point A because that's where the from is. We know Anika's position, not my position yet. Okay? Anika's position, 215 will be like this. No, this one, right? So that means I need to start from here. Can you see the logic? Because I'm going to locate something on the other side. So I'm coming this way. So don't draw your picture here because there's no space for you. You have to, think ahead. Understand?
Yeah.
Now, I'll say, okay, Anika is here. All right? Our bearing is 215. Then I can be located on that path. We don't know the distance, so it doesn't matter. So Mr. Daniel is here. Can you see that? So this is 215. Okay. You can just write somewhere here, 215 degrees. Then you label. Now, what am I looking for? We are trying to find the bearing of Anika from me. Now I want to trace Anika from here. If you are tracing another location from a location, just start from the north and find the angle that connects to the line, joining them. That's it. Because that's what you will have done if you are drawing the bearing anyway. You will have done the angle, then when the angle stops, you draw the line. So we are just doing like we are flipping it. Understand the idea?
Yes.
Again, I now want to trace Anika. I want to know the bearing of Anika from me. So if this was bold, if Anika had to, this is our country. This is Anika's location. Okay? If Anika has enough fuel to come to the island, maybe for more extra food or something like that, she needs to turn our boat on a bearing 215 to get to our location. Okay? But maybe she radio us and say, okay, I'm out of fuel, can you guys come over? We need to know which bearing do we take to locate her. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So that bearing cannot be 215 because if it is the same 215, it means we are going the other way around. Do you understand that? So the idea is, follow the idea of three figure, start from the north and move in the clockwise direction. So we start from the north, we move in let me do the solution in a different ink. We start from the north, Anika's, my north, okay? We move in the clockwise direction until we get to the location or the path where an acre can be found. Understand? So the bearing is this theta we are looking for. Everything else is alternate angle stuff. If this is theta, you agree with me this is theta? Yes?
Yes.
So you find the value of theta from here. King, what will be theta from here? Do you know? How will you find it? You don't have to tell me the final answer. And speak louder. Do you agree with him? That's it. So theta will be 215 minus 180. You see, it's not every time you do 215 minus 180. You do what you see. Sometimes you don't have to do any subtraction. Sometimes you may need to add something. It is what you see. If I'm trying to locate an acre from here, I need to move at the bearing of theta. Alternate angle, because this is parallel, right? Alternate angle, this theta is here. Oh, how can I find theta from here? Everything up to this point is 215. From this point is 180. So this extra space must be the gap between 180 and 215. That's why we are subtracting. We're not subtracting because we love minus. We're subtracting because of the situation that is presented. Sometimes it could be addition. Sometimes it could be, I'm not saying you have to add both of them. You add what you see in the picture. Understand? So, and that will be, what is this? 35. So how can we conclude? The bearing of the bearing of A from D is what? Do you agree with her? Do you agree? Why not?
It should be 035.
035. Remember what we said? 3 digits. Okay? Therefore, the bearing of an acre from my location is 035 degrees. That's how to find the bearing between two places. Yes, ma'am.
Then what if the answer is, say, 2 decimal places? Then it is still 3 figure 4?
That's a very tricky one. I don't think there are specific rules on that.
Just 3 significant.
Yeah, and I think just 3 significant figure, but even 0 is not significant. So you might want to maybe add 1 more digit or something like that. But there will be clear instruction. Trust me, there will be clear instruction. Okay, so can I write now? This is 215. I'm going to write maybe the same angles here that we have written here, or maybe different one. I write them as number 2 to number 4. I want you to do the other way around, just like I did here. Please, start. Try this 3 in addition to this. You can leave some space to write this later, your choice. Try this. Oops. us to do these questions together. It's in your textbook. It may not lead to sine rule, cosine rule, but I want us to do it together. Joey, is it possible to capture both?
It is not very possible.
Not really? How about this one? Still not? Or what if I bring the board here? Will you be able to capture this with this?
Actually, it works. It works.
It works.
It's,
Okay,
it's just a bit small. That's all.
Okay. Hopefully people can see.
Yeah.
Okay, please look up. Everyone look up. Make this bigger. Get it better. Pick a question. 10 or 11. If you love 10s, you can pick 10. If you love prime numbers, you can pick 11. If you love my tribal math, it looks like 11, you can pick 11. Your choice. By the way, I used to be bullied and called number 11 because of that. And often somebody, I think the first question somebody asked me when I came to SON was, what happened to your face? Did that I had an accident or something? No, I didn't fight lion, it's a tribal man, okay?
I wanted to ask that for so many years.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have asked, dude. It's a tribal man. You know, back in the day, like maybe 2 generations ago, there was nothing like passport. Even if there was passport, I'm not sure my ancestors in their villages knew anything about the outside world, the aeroplane or something like that. So this is the way the Yoruba people identify where you come from. So different tribes have different marks on their faces. So with the way the marks is, you can actually tell, oh, you are from Ondo, oh, you are from Abeokuta, oh, you are from this, you are from that, because of the way the people have their marks on their faces. So it's a form of identity. It's a cultural thing. So not an abuse or somebody bullied me now. But of course that is fading away. Like I wouldn't put mark on my baby. Like we have passport now. Like you can even be a Nigerian Chinese now. So what are you gonna do? Put a mark of Nigeria on the left and put Chinese one on the right now. Nobody does that anymore. So anyways, so let's look at, do I choose or do you want to choose? 11, okay. Okay, everybody love my travel mark again. Just kidding. Yacht A and B depart from the same port. Okay? Yacht A sails 11 kilometers on a bearing 034 degrees. Now, the first thing I want you to do, is to have a sketch before your final diagram. You may not get it right at first. So I often encourage my students, even as far back as say 2002 or 3, when I was teaching like YX students, I tell them, have a sketch first before your true picture. So my sketch will look like this. Yacht A and B sails 11 on a bearing of, so let's say this is the starting point. The reason I encourage the sketch is, I'm not sure if when I go this way, I'm likely to come back here. You understand? So I need to know, maybe I move this to the middle or move it to the edge. So I like students to have a sketch first. Understand? No. Yacht A sails on a bearing of 034. 034, you agree with me, is going to be like this. It's a sketch, but at least, you know, try to be OCD a little bit. Because your 34 shouldn't be something like this. Everything is 90. Your 34 shouldn't even be half of it. Mine look like half of it. Right? 11 kilometers. And also, your 11 kilometers shouldn't be longer than maybe 50 kilometers, if that is in the picture also. Understand? Now, so yacht A starts from here. Yacht A is now here. I don't know which one to call A first, so let's just see. Yacht B also starts from here. So basically, A is here now. So this is the port. Maybe I call it P. And this is 034 degrees. Understand? Yacht B sails 14 kilometers. So that is expected to be longer than this. 14 kilometers on a bearing of 124. From the same port, remember? They depart from the same port. So B, 124, like this. And the line is expected to be longer. So my yacht B will be here. Oh, now I have a better idea what my picture will look like. Then I draw the actual drawing. Understand that? So, we just got this example from the book. Does anybody know what page that is? Oh, I think it will be different from your, I'll write the reference later. I'll write the reference here. That's question 11. I'll write the reference here for both SL and HL book because it's in the same, both of you have it in your books. Now Now that we have the true picture, this is our port P. My 034 will go this way, something like that. My 11. Then the other one, 124, a little bit above 90, right? Because halfway is 135. Understand? So 124 shouldn't be up to half as well. So, but it should be longer, expected to be longer than 11. Understand? So this is my 11 kilometers. Now my B is here now. My yacht A is here now. Then this will be longer as expected. And my yacht B will be here now. Then of course, these two are expected to be joined. Put your ruler please and pencil. So let's label appropriately. So this is going to be 34 degrees because of the 034 bearing. Is that clear? Yeah. Now, this is going to be 124. If this is 124, then we can get the angle here. Understand? 124 is the red line. Okay? So, if this is 124, what is this? Everything is 180, right? So what is this quickly? 56. Pick your calculator if you must, but contribute please. Now, let's see what we can figure out. Wait, this is 14, let's label that. What is the question really? Find the distance and bearing of yacht B from A. Find the distance and bearing of B from here. So from here, the distance will be this, right? So we need to just figure out this angle. Can you add these two together? What do you have? 90. So definitely the angle in between is what? 90. In that case, you don't even need cosine rule. If this was 100, then you can only use cosine rule to get this. That's where your sine rule, cosine rule, SOHCAHTOA comes in. But now that this is 90, what do you need to find this?
10.
SOHCAHTOA, are you serious? Melody?
Oh.
Yeah, Pythagoras theorem. Thank you, Melody. I know she's my only friend here. You're not my friend anymore. Does everybody get that? Because you don't have to waste your time doing cosine rule. Even when you use your cosine rule, it's going to become Pythagoras theorem. You're doing a squared equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc. Then you're going to end up doing cos 90. Cos 90 is 0. This is gone. You're back to Pythagoras theorem. So you have just wasted your time for the first two steps. It's going to be correct, but it doesn't portray you as a very, high-thinking student because you're not supposed to do that. Understand? So we're going to use Pythagoras theorem to figure that out. Then we need to also find the bearing again of B from A. The bearing will be this one. Do you agree? So we need to figure out how to get that. That's the only information we have. Okay, let's see how can we get this. If we know this angle, oh, this is 34. If this is 56, 56 is everything. If this is 56, then everything is 56. What is down here? Down here, what is 56 minus 90, please?
34.
What? Say that again?
34.
34. So this is 34. I'm just thinking of different things. Then this will be 34. It doesn't help in any way.